You might be interested to know also that the Pope's headdress, the papal headdress, goes back to an ancient Jewish headdress. And of course the Pope wears the yarmulke, and so does the cardinals wear the yarmulke. But in particular, the Pope's headdress is shown here as Freemasonic. This is from a Freemasonic research book, a volume on Freemasonry and the garb of Freemasons. And here we had one Freemason with the Jewish breastplate and the papal headdress. We have other Masonic garb showing that when we see the Pope and we see the priest, we see religious movements throughout the world, their garb, it's all Freemasonry. I think those among us that are concerned with the race issue throughout the world might be interested to know that here's another Freemasonic Brotherhood of Power, an expose of the secret Africana Brotherhood, Brotherhood, Freemasonry. So when we see what's happening in South Africa, it is no great wonder that South Africa's greatest friend is Israel. There is a famous song from the 1960s entitled, "Does Anyone Know What Time It Is?" We respectfully submit that it is time to wake up to the most serious problem that we face as a free society. Speaking of time, the new edition of the magazine tells us that it's high time, like the owl, to see things that have been kept in the dark. This will not be difficult because the truth has been hiding in plain view all along. In the Congress resides the American symbols of power, known in the dictionary as the fasci. The fasci itself is nothing more than an ancient symbol of an ancient priesthood from an ancient world. The axe, which explains why in the Second World War the powers of Hitler were called the Axis powers. The fasci was used by the priesthood of the axe in the ancient world, and by Adolf Hitler, by General Franco, Mussolini, and many other underworld fascist movements and mafia-style organizations, commonly understood to be called the Untouchables. As I said at the beginning, and as even Time magazine has obviously had to admit, our leaders are the best that money can buy. They've sold you out to a hidden agenda a long time ago. Now you have just seen the faint outline. In the past tape, we have tried to at least enlighten your mind to a subject that has not been adequately dealt with. That is the secret societies and subversive movements that are restructuring our world and using all sorts of guises and excuses. Everything from Jehovah's Witnesses to the Mormons with their Zion National Park and the New World Order and the racist philosophies that permeate the Western world. And it has become an idea whose time has come to explain and talk about these subjects. As we have mentioned before, we have adequate documentation for the things which we have said. If you would like to inquire further for further information, it is obviously a subject that cannot be covered very well in just a few tapes. But we hope that we have been able to at least present some concepts and ideas that may be fresh and new and important to look at. And we want to thank you for your time. And we want to leave you with this thought that this country was based on the fact that individuals had a right to know. We had a right to understand and to expect from our leaders the truth. We haven't received the truth from our leaders, and we're not going to. They have their own agenda. They have their own ideas about what they're going to do, and it doesn't involve you. All that you are expected to do is work and pay your taxes, be a capital product for their system, and not ask any questions. I think it's high time that this country begin to ask questions of its leaders, its misleaders, and as we said before, that we have the best religious and political leaders that money can buy. I think it's time that we begin to look at these subjects very deeply, and if you want help on any particular facet that we've talked about, or if you want more information generally on these subjects, we will be happy to provide you with all of that information. Again, I have to say that what I have told you is what I've only told you. I haven't told you the rest of the story. It is an enormous story. We hope that we've been able to at least enlighten you somewhat, and we thank you for your time.